Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of For Such a Time as This, a podcast about calling, timing, and trusting God in the season that you're actually in, not just the one you hope to be in. My name's Bethany, and I'm your host. This season is our second season. It's called Single and Set Apart. So I'm talking to Christian singles or people that were single kind of later in life but aren't single anymore. And I'm super excited for what you guys might learn in this season. So let's just sit back, relax, and see what God might have for you in this episode. Hey guys, this is my friend Anthony.
How you doing?
Welcome to another episode of For Such a Time as This. I am super excited about this season. Oh my goodness. All right, so we're talking about singleness, but like with faith
Yes, ma'am.
in this episode. So Anthony, just like tell us a little bit of backstory about like your singleness journey.
Been single now for 2.5 years, going on 3. Really just, leaning on God in this time, and that's what really caused me to kind of get back into my faith and get back into the church. I was with somebody that I thought I was going to marry, and it just didn't work out that way. And so God has a good way of like pulling you back in. And so that's exactly what brought me back in. And, Union has like singles night and marriage night and stuff like that. So I try to, go to as many things as I can. I read Pastor Stephen's book and just try to prepare myself for when I do get into a relationship so that I'm making sure I'm doing things the right way. So that's kind of where we are there.
Okay. Before this past like 2-3 years, how long were you like in a relationship for?
I was in a relationship for 2 years.
Okay.
Somebody I went to preschool with. So it was crazy. Yeah. Yeah, it was a cool story at the time. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Okay. Were you single much before that?
Before that, I was single for 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I was single for 5 years from a relationship that I was in from high school through college, and that was like a 5-year relationship.
Okay. Are those the two like main relationships?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, yeah. So we're all 3 peoples. That's it.
I think under love for the hell right now. That's what is like the biggest struggle point?
Being single.
Yeah.
Dying to your flesh, 100%. Because there's things that you want to do as far as like going out, and I'm not that person anymore. So I mean, I didn't really go to bars and stuff in college like that anyway. It was more so just to be social. But even now, especially now at 31, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going out to the bars. I'm not doing any of that. I'm a very introverted person. So I don't mind just like hanging out, maybe going to get some coffee or things like that, or getting a hot chocolate. I'm more of a hot chocolate kind of guy.
I'm too, so I feel you.
Yeah. And that's that. I would say like trying to be who God has called me to be and get away from like the old things that I used to do. Because I don't want to bring those old things into a kingdom relationship and a kingdom marriage, and God won't let you bring those old things into that kingdom marriage and relationship.
Yeah.
And so that's I would say trying to change your thought process of things and being intentional more, things like that.
Dive a little bit more into like change your thought process of things. Like give me an example.
So I mean, normally you like back in high school, college, it's like, oh, we're talking. And there wasn't necessarily like a courting phase or like a dating phase. It was like, oh, we're just talking for so long or things like that. But now at 30, we don't have time to play. I'm not trying to play. You know what I'm saying? I still want to have kids one day and things like that. So it's like, hey, do I see a relationship with this person? I definitely want me and my partner to be best friends. So the friendship stage for me is super important, less about like going on dates, more about like, just let's spend time, let's get to know each other and even see if we want to go on dates, and then have that conversation like, hey, does this make sense to go forward into like an intentional dating situation? Like really focus on, hey, how are we going to see each other at least maybe once a week? You know what I'm saying? Or because maybe you have your own schedules, I have my own schedules, or if that person has kids, things like that. That it's a thing that you have to talk about. And so I am a big person on like, if it doesn't make sense, like of us moving forward, if you don't see that relationship, or if I put certain boundaries in place, like, waiting till marriage and things like that, and that's not something that person agrees with, like, it's totally fine. We don't have to go down that road. We have a great friendship, so we can just be friends. That's totally fine.
Okay.
And just being okay with that. You know what I'm saying?
Rather than you find it. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Do you find it easy to like not catch feelings in that friendship phase?
For me, yes, because I feel like if I'm addressing it early and I'm saying like, hey, like I just want to get to know you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just want to be around you. So one thing, instead of like being one-on-one for a while, like let's go out in groups. You know what I'm saying? We go to DC and do different stuff, or just find a group of people maybe that we serve with if I'm talking to somebody in the church. But just do more group oriented things. So I'm just trying to get to know you. You know what I'm saying? I got to figure out if I like you first.
Okay. What I'm assuming you struggle with like the desire to want to be married versus like just being content where you are.
100%.
What does that struggle kind of like look like in your brain?
I really, really, really look forward to being a husband and a father one day. Like outside of my career, like aspirations, that is the biggest aspiration I have in my life, is just being a husband and a father. So not settling is the biggest thing. So not taking less than, or just, I really want what God has for me in that space. Because he's again, the God of abundance, right? God of bigger, better than I could ever ask, think, or imagine. And I want that. You know what I'm saying? So coming out of that relationship where I did think I was going to marry that person, it was like, God, I thought this was the best situation that I was ever in, and it didn't work out. And if you wanted it to, it would have worked out.
Right.
So that just means that you have better for me.
Exactly.
And if that's what I thought was the best and it wasn't, and you have better than that, oh yeah, I want that. Like whatever that is, yeah, let me chase that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the change of the mindset.
Do you struggle with the patience aspect of that portion? Because that's like my struggle is like, I know that the other stuff didn't work out because like that's not what you have for me, but you have so much more. But like I'm ready for it. Like,
exactly, yeah.
When it's gonna get here.
100%, 100%. I think that's a daily conversation. Because then like that's where your flesh would come in and like settle and like, oh, you know what? That person's been asking me out for a while, but you know you have no business going out with that person. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, oh, you know what, God? No, I'm trusting you. And I think that's the biggest thing about trusting God, is like not wanting to divert from that. Like, hey, God, I'm really going to trust in you in this moment. And even though I really want to be married and I really want to find my person, like, you're just prepping it for me. You're cooking something good up. You have to be. You know what I'm saying? You have to be. So I'm going to trust in you in that moment and take my hands off of it. You know what I'm saying?
Do you have pressure from people in your family or the church or anywhere of like, you're 31, hurry up and get married?
My mom did hit me with it for the first time this Christmas. She did for the first time. I was like, you know, don't you look forward? I'm a big cook, so I love to cook and things like that. So last year my mom had a knee replacement, so it was the first Thanksgiving I cooked the whole meal.
Okay.
So now that's kind of been the trend the past couple years, or since this is the second year. So we're getting to Christmas, and she's, you know, her knee is better, so she's moving around, so she wants to help out a little bit. I'm like, Mom, like, I got it. Don't you want to look forward to like one day I'm cooking the meal and you're just playing with your grandkids and stuff like that? She's like, yeah, when you gonna give me something? No, you know what? Yeah, you know, you can help out in the kitchen. Come on, you can help. Like we could divert right from that. But
Love that.
that's the first time. That's the first time. My niece, every time we link up, she's like, when you gonna have a son or daughter so I can do their hair? Because she loves, like, you know, she's in cosmetology and stuff like that. So I just want to do their hair and everything like that. When you want to have me a little niece and nephew? Well, my niece me and her are 6 years apart. So I'm 31, so she's 25. Okay. So we really like brother and sister. So that's my little baby. Yeah, that's my little baby.
Cool. I honestly like cannot say the same, and it's so weird. Like my parents, every time I bring up like, don't you want grandkids? They're like, we can wait.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay, yes, it is,
That's awesome.
but also,
yeah. Come on.
I want that.
Yeah,
so like, can we hurry up?
Yeah, no, I totally understand that.
Do you find yourself comparing your situation to like other people?
I think sometimes it's hard not to.
Yeah.
Because you can like look at other people, and especially if like, you know, they're not living how God called them to live, or, you know, like there's other things going on in that relationship, and maybe like to the public it's a beautiful thing, but in private, like, it's not that good. You're kind of sitting there in the background like, God, why me? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Or, God, like, why didn't this work out? Like, I really put my best foot forward, and I really tried to make the changes that I didn't get right from the previous situation. I really tried to fix them in this one, and it still didn't work out. Like, what's going on? And I think it's hard to like not internalize those things. But that's what the enemy wants you to do. Right. It's like the enemy wants you to internalize that and be like, oh, it's my fault, and I'm never good enough, and I'm never going to find that person that you want me to be with. But we rebuke that in the name of Jesus. You know what I'm saying? So I just know that God has for me. And I think that's that constant reminder every day. It's like, God, you do have for me. And I don't know what you have going on the other side of this thing. I don't know where that person is, but maybe you're ordering their steps for us to cross soon,
Right.
you know?
How do you feel like you know that God has that for you? Because what if he does it?
I know that he does because his word said it.
Okay.
That's the biggest thing. Man's not supposed to be alone.
Okay.
And I know that he spoke that over my life.
Mm-hmm.
He spoke that over everybody's life because it's in his word. If he didn't want everybody to have somebody, he wouldn't have said it in his word.
That's true.
And I just know that he has that for me. And in order for me to kind of break those generational curses from my father and like his father and things like that, I have to have a child. You know what I'm saying? So in order for me to be the dad he's called me to be, or be the husband he's called me to be, like, I mean, he would want me to have that child. At least I hope that he wants me to have that child. I really, really, yeah.
Do you find it like struggling to think about the passages where Paul's talking about how it's better to remain single then?
Yeah, because it's tough. When he says remain single, I think he means just remain single until you find the right person.
Okay.
And it's everybody's interpretation is different.
Right.
So like my interpretation is going to be different from yours. But I do think that it's a game of waiting for who God has for you. Because obviously we're attracted to people, but
Right.
just if we're attracted to them doesn't mean that's my person. You know what I'm saying? And I can't change anybody. So I have to either be patient and God will confirm that with me if that's my person or not. And I think also like giving him that space to make that decision for you. Like, hey, God, is this my person?
Mm-hmm.
If it's not my person, remove them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And save me for the person that you have for me and bring that person along. But if this is a thing that you want, not just to be a relationship, but you want this to be a kingdom marriage one day, confirm that with me and maybe confirm that through somebody else. You know what I'm saying? And then also like our wise counsel, you know, so maybe bringing that person on a double date with some of your wise counsel or like an elder in the church or somebody like that, a married couple you look up to, and get their opinion. You know what I'm saying? Hey, do you guys like this person for me? And if they pull you aside and it's like, hey, like, yeah, I don't think that's the one. Then I think then that is where you either are going to listen to them or you're not, and you're going to make your own choice, you know? So yeah, I do think that there is a season of being single intentionally. But I do think the end game for everybody should be finding the person that God has for you.
Yeah. That's good. I like that interpretation.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
I wish for me when I was younger, which I mean, I guess we all wish when we were younger we acted different.
Yeah.
But like I would have listened to wise counsel because I feel like it would have saved me so much time. Because I'm in a space now where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go like on a double date. We on a double date, married but I live next to, but it's like I'm said, just like, and I'm gonna listen. I'm going to listen with them. Whereas when I was 19, 21, I'm like, okay, and your opinion matters too.
It doesn't matter. Like,
Right.
I think hindsight is 20/20.
Very much so.
100%.
So we've kind of been like mixing this in already, but let's kind of transition from like the struggles of it to like the beauty behind it and what God has like in the singleness season. So how do you think God has like met you specifically or changed you in this season?
I think that he's let me know that waiting is okay. Because there's been a couple things even since I've been getting back to the church, like I dated somebody in the church and it just didn't work out. That it's okay that it didn't work out. You know, I don't have to be heartbroken over anything. Like, yeah, it might hurt, you know, but just really trusting in him. And I think that it's been a beautiful thing that he's allowed me to trust in him and given me that space to trust in him. And it's bigger than just like, hey, what do you want for your career? Like, this is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with.
Yeah.
So I really have to submit and let God do his work. Also just because I did my thing in the past and that didn't work out. So I don't want to keep doing what didn't work. Do what he's calling me to do. And it's proven to work. You know what I'm saying? It's proven to work. So I'm going to go with the surefire thing. And he's always just comforted me and let me know that like the things that the past people said that, hey, you're not enough or love isn't enough or things like that. Like those are lies and tools from the enemy that I am enough. I am a son of God. I am an image bearer of God. And he does have more for me and he does have for me what he says he does.
Right.
So it's okay that those things were said. I don't believe those things, you know? So he's done a great job of just being the almighty God that he is and being the father that he is, and just letting me know that those were lies from the enemy. Those were, you know, seeds that were planted to dispel me from who he's called me to be. And I haven't let that get in the way. So.
What has that journey looked like from like unlearning the beliefs of like I'm not in that, I don't know where.
I just went to, we had Freedom Conference at Union. So I just went to Freedom Conference at the beginning of December, and that was a huge aspect of it. And things that I thought that I let go of 2 years ago that I really didn't let go of. And just aspects of hurt and things like that. And so I think that's been a really freeing part. And just to let, you know, I mean, obviously going to church and talking to our wise counsel that we do have, our campus pastors, our leaders in our groups and things like that. Just my community that I've met since being at church. It's been just a constant reminder of like who you are and who God has called you to be, and not what other people said about you. You know what I'm saying? Whether those were attacks from the enemies or not, those things that those other people said about you aren't true, you know?
Are there like moments like during the internet where you resisted like what God was saying to you, whether it was like him trying to get you to wait or him telling you that you are enough? Like, are there moments where you resisted his direction or comfort?
I don't want to say intentionally resisted.
Right.
Like, yeah, there's nothing like, no, God, I'm not doing what you said I'm going to do. It's not that. I would say though, but yeah, 100%, because kind of like what you hinted at earlier, as far as like, hey, God, like I'm ready. I think sometimes we get in that space where like, hey, God, like I know I'm supposed to wait on you. I know I know that you're cooking something up, but like, I want this, so I'm gonna go find something. You know what I'm saying? And I think that is that space is the, I'm looking for the word. Can you remind me of the question again real quick? Cause I just lost. I'm sorry. So.
What were there moments that you like resisted what God wanted
resist.
to do?
No, yeah. So it wouldn't be like a resistance. It would be more of a, all right, God, I made a mistake. You know what I'm saying? Like I thought I could do this in my own strength and go find who I wanted to be with, but that didn't work out. So, hey, okay, I'm back. I'm going to truly surrender this to you. And I actually like stepped into like a season of like intentional singleness. Especially it was the beginning of last year. So my dad passed away in September, and I was dating somebody, and it just wasn't working out. Thank you, I appreciate it. And it was just a season where I realized like, hey, like I can't be who you've called me to be in this space as like your boyfriend. I'm not okay from my dad passing away, so I need to like get me together. But I did feel like that person I had a really great friendship with. So I was just like, hey, if we can take a step back from the relationship aspect, because it's putting too much pressure on me right now and I can't show up for you in that way. If we can just be great friends right now and just continue to hang out in groups, do that thing, it'd be great. And that wasn't enough for her. And so coming out of that, you know, that was oh, you didn't choose me, that I chose me. Like I had to heal from that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now, or coming out of that, I said, hey God, like I'm giving you 6 months and it's just me and you. You know what I'm saying? It's me and you. I'm not going on no dates. I'm not being one-on-one with anybody. I'm not trying to hang out with nobody in no group. Like it's just me and you. And it worked out. And I would say about maybe 3-4 months into that, he introduced me to somebody in my life. And for the past 9 months, we've been great friends. You know what I'm saying? And having conversations about, hey, do you think we should maybe move forward into like an intentional dating space?
Okay.
And it's been great. But in that situation, I was totally surrendered. You know what I'm saying? It's like, God, like it's yours, whatever you wanted to do. So I wasn't looking for anybody.
Right.
This person genuinely just crossed my path. And I remember I was actually talking to her about it earlier. She had asked me out, like, hey, do you want to go get coffee or like go get dinner sometime? And I was like, hey, like I would love to, but just right now I can't. Like it's just, we might can meet at Starbucks and like chop it up sometime, but not as like a date. Really, it's just like hanging out and just talking. I said, but you know, outside of that, I can't right now because I'm in a season of just me and God, you know? And we just went on our first date, I think December, like right after Christmas. We went right after Christmas, yeah. We went to a little hibachi spot right after Christmas, yeah. So that was cool.
And
that was cool.
that's sweet.
Yeah,
Do you think like that long of a friendship phase is like good and needed?
I don't know for everybody. I would say I mean, you can be intentional about it, and we have been intentional about it. I think for both of us, where we were coming from, I had lost my dad, and she lost two people close to her. So it was much less of a like, hey, we're looking for a boyfriend right now. We just need to be around somebody like who's positive. You know what I'm saying? And she came from some trauma in her past. So here I come, like speaking life over her and speaking like, you know, the word of God over her. And she senses like she's accepted Jesus Christ into her heart. She comes to church now, and that like wasn't an aspect of her life before. And so now like it's even changed her life. You know what I'm saying? So just speaking those words over her as far as like what God says is like, oh, what the people said about you in your past, it isn't true. You know what I'm saying? So that was really part of our friendship, was like kind of breaking those chains that were on her, and just letting her know that like, hey, you are God's daughter, and hey, if this turns into a relationship, that'd be great, but if it doesn't, I'm cool with just being your friend, because we really built a dope friendship.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, it's hung out, I've met her kids, like it's super super cool. And it's just one of those things where it's like kind of what we were talking about earlier about being intentional. Does this make sense? Because now if we do decide to go down that road, I don't want to hurt you and your kids. That's 3 DUI. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do that. So, hey, let's sit down and talk about this. Does this make sense? Like, are you aligning with what I'm aligning with, like with what God wants us to do as far as a kingdom relationship and marriage? And she is. And it's super cool because she didn't come from that. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
for her to be accepting of that, like, means a lot to me. And it's been a great experience so far. So I think for us, like coming out of both of the tragedies that we went through,
Yeah.
it was a great space of just like, there's no pressure. You know what I'm saying? Like if we end up there, that's awesome. If we don't, we built a great friendship that is going to last. And that was the biggest thing for both of us. And so now, you know, we're working into that space of intentionally dating, spending time together and things like that. So it's super cool. It's super cool, especially just like taking the time that was needed. And it feels right. It feels like there's no pressure, because there is none,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
and she's taking it to God in her own time, and I've taken it to God in my own time. And like I said, God, if this is a relationship that you want, like not just a relationship, but something you want to turn into a marriage, confirm that with me and I'm here for it. But if it's not, cool, that's okay. This is a great friendship. Just remove it. Remove it. And again, wherever you want me to go, I'll go. If you want me to be intentionally single again, I'll do that. That's totally fine. But he's, you know, like I said, let our paths cross with each other, I think at the right time, because we both needed that person, and it's worked out beautifully.
Did you, like, as soon as I miss hers, where, oh, this could, like, when I'm done with my singleness season, be something?
I don't know, because I'll be completely honest. So like I'm a strength and conditioning coach, and I met her at my gym. So it totally was, and the only reason I met her was because her trainer quit that morning. And so I get a phone call from the trainer, and they're like, hey, like I'm resigning, I'm quitting. And she had a session that night. So me being the director of the program, like I had to call all the clients and let them know like, hey, I got you with this trainer. I'll see you myself at this time. And so that's what happened. I called her and I was just like, hey, I got, you know, I know your trainer quit today and I'm so sorry, but I'll see you. And so that's how we ended up meeting and started talking. And it just went from that. So it was a training thing. But I had picked up, me and her were just talking about this again earlier. But I had picked up like that she had been through some stuff in her past based off how she would respond in our training sessions. And it wasn't looking for approval, but it was looking for reassurance. Like, am I doing this okay? And it was just every like couple minutes. So I knew that there had been something going on. And so there was one day I went up to her and I was like, hey, I mean this in the most respectful way possible, like, and professional way possible. Like as your trainer, I'm not hitting on you, but like, you're looking great. You're doing everything you're supposed to be doing. You're coming in here on your own. You're following the program, like, and you can see the results. And so I'm really proud of you. And I just wanted to let you know that you're doing a great job. And that's when she asked me to go to like coffee and stuff like that. Yeah. She shot her shot. But it worked out. It worked out later on, you know, and she was patient. And that's actually something she told me today, was just like, no, it actually like made me more attracted to you because you were being intentionally single during that time. And you weren't just trying to get something to make you feel better because of your loss. You know what I'm saying? You were truly trying to be intentional and be caring about not just your own feelings, but mine as well from my tragedies. And she was like, so that meant a whole lot to me. Like I said, it worked out.
Cool. Hey, you guys, it's me again. Don't worry, I'll be right back with our guests. I just wanted to take a moment and say thank you so much for spending time with us today. I hope you're enjoying the episode so far. Let's sit and think about what might have been said that can relate to your life today. And if you're enjoying it, make sure you like, subscribe, follow, comment, all the things. You can find us on YouTube for Such Time as This with Bethany Garner, or you can find us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. All right, let's get back to them. So since we already kind of brought that up, do you feel like women shooting their shot is something they should be doing like more often?
I don't see a problem with it.
Okay.
Hey, pull up. Pull up from 3. Shoot or shoot.
What is this year? I'll tell you on the email. Like, I had a female sign. Me and my girlfriend on that. My girl kept on how this kind of
It's like we don't want to be the pursuer, and do they come off as us being the pursuer if we...
I don't think it comes off as you being the pursuer. I think it shows interest.
Okay.
And so I can use her as an example. So her like asking to go to coffee or dinner was just a shot, right? It wasn't like a pursuit. Now, if she keeps asking or if she's like, okay, hey, coffee and dinner didn't work. Hey, do you want to work out together? Hey, do you want to do this? Hey, do you want to do that? And she's somehow trying to get in my space or get around me. That's pursuit.
Okay.
I think just you shooting the idea of like, hey, I would like to just spend time. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Because you showed interest. And so if the man's paying attention, like he should be, then he would know like, oh, wait a second. That's different. Okay, hey, let's try that. And I think that's for him to be like, hey, do I want to take it one-on-one or let me feel it out and let's hang out in a group.
Yeah.
So, hey, we're all going out to lunch and watch the game. You know what I'm saying? Later on. Or we're going out to, laser tag or whatever it is. Hey, you want to slide? You want to come with me? And cool. Now you can kind of see how she interacts with a bunch of people. But if it's in that group, like your church friends, if all your church friends go out together, that's cool. It's everybody you know. It's nothing uncomfortable. Like we're all just friends hanging out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then you can kind of see her in a different light and see that and kind of figure out, oh, do I want to ask her one-on-one? Do I want to ask her on a date or do I want to pursue her? You know what I'm saying? But I don't think there's nothing wrong with women shooting their shot at all. I think some men, like, I know I personally do, like that's cool.
So with like my conversations with like other guy friends, they expect a woman to show interest before they'll pursue her. So is a woman showing interest just her shooting her shot, or are there other ways to do it?
I think there's a bunch of ways to do it.
Why?
It could just be, hey, you look nice today, or noticing something like, oh, those are a new pair of shoes. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. You're noticing something about me personally. Then I know you're paying attention. And if I know you're paying attention to me, there's a reason why you're paying attention to me. So now you're putting me on game that like, hey, there was an episode of Fresh Prince when he was like, I noticed you noticing me, and I just wanted to put you on notice that I noticed. Like, it's the same thing, right? And sorry, once you put me on game that, oh, you noticed me, all right, cool, now I'm paying attention. Now I'm going to see how you move. I'm going to see how you act around me. I'm going to see how you talk around me. And then I pick up on body language very well. So it's like, okay, hey, how are you moving around? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you trying to be closer to me? Are you standoffish? Are you hand on the shoulder? You know what I'm saying? If we're talking, like, I understand all those things. So it's like, okay, hey, I can kind of pick up on those cues. Oh, she's interested. You know what I'm saying? And then if I'm not interested, that's on me to kind of be like, hey, I'm just not looking for anything right now. Like, I'm not trying to hurt you. I'm not trying to lead you on by engaging with you in that behavior.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But if I'm interested, then yeah, I can pick up on that. So yeah, I think there's a bunch of ways women can shoot their shot outside of just like, you want to go out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's a struggle over here.
Oh, no. As an introvert, I get it.
They're always like, we don't understand how this thing works.
No, it's just, as an introvert, I think it's because even for me, as an introvert, like,
yeah, that too.
It's hard for me to sometimes shoot my shot.
Yeah.
So like the girl I'm dating now, had she not shot her shot, I probably wouldn't have done it simply because it was a client of mine.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I was maintaining that boundary.
Yeah.
And like, she's the first client that I've ever like dated or something like that. So it's new for me as well. So I don't think had she would have done that and showed interest, I don't think that I would have not necessarily shown interest because again, she's a beautiful girl, but it's just like, hey, I was respecting our client business relationship. You know what I'm saying? But I think in that aspect as well, had I said something maybe outside of the gym, outside of that space, like, hey, I think you're really attractive. Would you like to go get coffee or something sometime? Just like, get to know each other. I think then that's, hey, me showing interest. But I think it's hard to shoot shots sometimes. So it's hard to shoot shots.
So with the girl that you're dating now, did you guys go do group things for a little while before?
I think so for us, no, because with the way we train in the gym.
Okay.
The way we train in the gym is more in a group setting.
Okay.
And so that was our group. It was just, hey, I would see her once or twice a week, and we would come into a group of probably 6 or 7 people. So it's not like I would just hang around her the whole time in the group. I have 6 other people that I have to attend to and like focus on. But it took the pressures off of us of getting to know each other one-on-one because I have all those other people I have to be responsible for. And then as a strength coach, I mean, it's called personal training for a reason. So you want to meet people and get to know them.
Right.
So sometimes in our conversations, we would talk, and it wasn't every session 6 people would show. Some days it might only be 3. Some days it might be 2. Some days it might just be a day where everybody cancels, and there's plenty of days like that, and she's the only one that comes in. And so those one-on-one days is where we would kind of get a little bit deeper. It's kind of where that door would open up a little bit, but the group aspect definitely made it like not as much. But the first time we did actually go out, it was me, her, and one of her friends. We went to a Ravens game. So it was 3 of us the first time we did go out. Yeah.
So she didn't go to church before. She goes to church now with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So she had grown up in like Catholic school, between like here in Pennsylvania, throughout her life. But as far as like in her adult life, going to church on Sundays, like no. She wasn't intentional about that, but like she is now.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, single mom with 2 kids. So like, you know, if she can get both kids up and get them to church, great. If not, then she's at home, but she's, you know, bedside Baptist with it. She's bedside Baptist. But she'll, you know, get online. She's taking notes. Like we're in Pray 21 right now.
Oh, that's awesome.
So even though she can't get up at 6 a.m. because she has the kids, she watches it at work. And so she'll tune in and she'll take her notes, and she's got a journal now. She's got her own Bible. She's actually super excited. She got like little Bible tabs for her Bible. So like she can flip right to certain books, because she told me, she was like, oh, I got my Bible tabs in the mail today. I can't wait to put them in my Bible. It's like, never thought you would get excited over Bible tabs. You know what I'm saying? Like I never thought I'd be standing in line to get into church. You know what I'm saying? But I am. Or New Year's Eve, I'm in church instead of, you know, at a party or something like that. Like I would have never thought those things.
Yeah.
But to see her in such a short amount of time dive in the way she's diving in, like I encourage her all the time to like, God has so much for you. Like I cannot wait for you to experience that. That's actually how it happened to one of our sessions. It kind of got to one of those like one-on-one days, and she had kind of told me she was going through like some fear and anxiety just from like her past. And I was like, man, if you let God like into your life, like he'll take that away from you. And she was like, well, how do I do that? I was like, well, you have to let God into your heart, and you have to ask him to, like, you know, be the Lord and Savior of your life. And she was like, well, how do I do that? And I was like, well, if you want to, like after our session, we can go sit in the car. I have Pastor Stephen's message up. We just put it up on YouTube. And at the end of every service, he does not an altar call, but like a salvation call. And I said, we can just say it in the car. I got some anointing oil in the car. So I'll anoint your hands. We'll pray and we can get this thing done. And she was like, okay, cool. Let's do it.
That's awesome.
And I'm like, all right, cool. So we went in the car and we did it and we prayed. But I listened, like, you know, as we're repeating the salvation prayer, she was quiet. And it was totally fine. So when we got done, I was just like, hey, like, you did a great job. You're saved. Like, you're God's daughter. Like, you should feel great about yourself. I said, but there's like one thing I just want you to think about. I said, like, when you're in a relationship with somebody, like, you tell them that you love them and like you communicate that. And she was like, yeah. And I said, God wants that same thing from you. I said, so when you're ready, you don't have to do it in front of me because it's not a show at all. That's between you and God.
Right.
I said, these are all just on YouTube. So you can literally get on YouTube, pick any message and just fast forward to the end. And this same salvation prayer is at the end of every single message. And when you're ready, say it out loud to God and like tell him that you love him. And so she called me the next morning before the session. I was like, hey, I just want to let you know, like, thank you for encouraging me. I did that salvation prayer again this morning and I said it out loud. And I was like, oh, I'm proud of you. I'm super proud of you. So yeah, she's been to a couple catalysts and yeah, she's doing the things. Yeah, it's awesome.
So was that interaction after she had expressed interest, or what's like?
That was after.
Okay.
That was after. Yeah.
I'm just curious because for me, I am often struggling with like the difference of faith. Like if I'm gonna like talk to someone or date someone, is like, I don't know if I should be looking outside of the church, you know?
Yeah.
In my head, because I'm like, I don't know. I just am sitting there and I'm like, I don't know how to talk to people that aren't in the church. And then like, I don't want them to feel like I'm like forcing church on them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I've been very like vocal about that with her. I don't want you to feel like I'm forcing this down your throat. It's something that I feel like you need. And if you feel like you need it, same thing with like getting into the relationship. If it makes sense, like we don't have it. If it doesn't make sense, we don't have to do it. Like if we were to break up, I don't want your relationship with God to be me. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to be a part of that. Like if we were not to be together, you still need to have a relationship with God. And I hope that you would continue that if and after, like, I hope we don't like stop dating because I like you. But if we get to that point, like, I want you to continue to chase God. I want you to continue to be who God called you to be and be that person for your kids. You know what I'm saying? To intercede and pray for your kids. That shouldn't be contingent on you dating.
Yeah.
And she's been receptive of that as well.
That's good.
100%.
I think that's awesome. That's such an awesome story.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's cool. It's cool just watching God work. It's cool just watching God work.
So I feel like the answer to this is going to be no, just based on like how our conversation has been. But like, have you used like methods like dating apps or anything like that before?
Right. The answer's no.
Yes.
No, I've never used a dating app. I've had people telling me to use dating apps. And it just is so crazy because you see like what God kind of blocked you from. So hindsight's 2020. So like, yeah, you hear the good things about dating apps and like how people met and they get married and have kids. And I know a couple people that have done that themselves.
Yeah.
But then you hear the backstories, you know, the bad stories about it. And it's just like, I don't even want to go down that road and have to entertain the bad stories of it in hopes of finding the good story.
Right.
And so for me, it was just like, man, like, I know I'm going to come in contact with the person that God has called me to be with. And I've been that way even when I wasn't as active in the church, like I said, in high school and college and things like that. It was always I know God's going to bring the person that I'm supposed to be with, and that'll cross my path when it's supposed to happen. And I just got to be paying attention. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the whole dating app thing, that was just never me. That was never me. And I wanted to try it and be like, oh man, like get downloaded that, but I've never even downloaded it on my phone.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
Nope. And looking back now, it's like, oh God, thank you for saving me even that. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I have like lots of time. I believe to die when dating out my debate when I'm like, oh no, like no, they're awful. They're very so.
But like I get on them on and off because people are always like, well, get on dating apps. I'm like, all right, sure.
Yeah.
So because even like people in the church are like, get on dating apps. Like that's how you meet people nowadays. And I've, for the past couple years, like been in this mindset of like, I don't think who God has for me is going to be on a dating app. I just don't think that it is.
No, I don't think it was.
But then I still have people like down my throat, like, well, get on a dating app. And I always have to say, I don't think that that's what God has for me. And they're always like, well, how do you know? And I'm like, it's just this feeling.
It's just a feeling. You know.
Yeah, just wait out.
And that's what I be. Yep. And for me, it was just one of those things, like, because I've seen other people's dating apps, you know, friends from both sides, boys and girls. And it's just like, man, like, I don't think I'm supposed to be there. You know, I just don't think that that's supposed to be a realm that I'm supposed to be in.
Yeah.
I feel like God's going to bring that person in front of me and I'm going to be paying attention and I'm going to see it. You know what I'm saying? But I think to like what you were saying earlier, like just this sticking to people in the church, like I think this is again just my opinion, like I think not everybody who's in the church is operating how they should be in the dating space. And learn that from like just like being in men's groups and things like that, like just because somebody looks high and righteous on Sundays or like they serving and everything else, like behind closed doors, they not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So just because like if there's anybody out there that's saying like, oh yeah, I'm not dating anybody that's not in church, I'm only dating people in the church, I think you're cutting yourself off from a lot that this world has to offer. I mean, there is 8 billion people in the world and they all not at your church, you know? But God has also called us to be fishers of men. And so if you're a Christian person and you're following, you know, your faith, that doesn't mean you can't meet somebody who isn't of faith and share your faith with them and bring them into the fold. And then that could have been what God has called you to do, is to go out and meet that person who wasn't saved. And it might have just been a coworker. And you started telling them about church and they started coming and started opening up to you. And now you guys are hanging out and serving together and it turned into a date. You know what I'm saying? And you would have never thought it was going to be like that. You were just sharing your faith with somebody. And I think for me, that's kind of what this situation was. Because I had every intention of like, if we did go to that Starbucks, to sit down and tell her about my faith and why I'm being intentionally single, but we never went. because I said no.
Yeah.
And then through our conversations at the gym, it was just, hey, it came up, of course, like, this is why I'm being intentionally single. This is what I'm hoping and praying for. And I think she cracked the door with the, like, I'm going through, like, suffering from fear and anxiety. Like, how do I let God fix that? And all God needs is to get a foot in the door, and he's going to take over your life. You know what I'm saying? So, and she let him in, and, it's just starting to change. So you can see, especially like just me, like knowing her for now almost a year, where I met her and where she is now is two totally different people. And it's all glory to God. You know what I'm saying? It's all glory to God just because she opened the door and let him in. But, and she's told me personally, like, she may not have been in this space of like going to church and stuff if she didn't meet me. But it's not, and I try to tell her it's not me. You know what I'm saying? It's the Holy Spirit in me that's reaching out to you like, hey, like, I have something for you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so if God uses me to bring her back home and get her on her purpose and get her to the woman that she's called to be, like, thank you, God, for thinking of me enough to play a part in her story. You know what I'm saying? And I'm grateful to be used by you. So that's kind of my thought process.
Well, I'm thinking about that one. I didn't wait this question, but it goes.
So I think there, within like the church atmosphere, at least, there's like a confusion between like we've talked about both of these concepts, the concept of like waiting on the Lord for who he has for you, and the concept of like putting yourself out there to like talk to people, shoot your shot, introduce yourself to people. In your opinion, where can people find the balance there?
I think, how do I answer this question? I think the individual has to find their balance. I don't think there's a general, this is the balance between the three. I think it's totally up to the individual in the season that they're in. So like Pastor Stephen will say it all the time, like, you're not going on no dates. How you going to meet the person that you're going to be with?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I do think there's a time to be intentionally single. I do think there's a time to, try to get out there and date. But you as the person going out there trying to date, whether you're on dating apps, whether you're just meeting people through whatever channels you're meeting people through, if it's not working out, you got to try something different.
Right.
So if you've been on dating apps for X amount of years and all the men you meet are trash, you know what I'm saying? Like, maybe you should get off the dating app. You know what I'm saying? And then chill out for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Some people just are, the dating app didn't work, so I'm going to just start going out to the bars. Oh, the bars didn't work, so I'm going to start going over here. You know what I'm saying? And instead of just sitting down, and maybe in those seasons, guys is telling you like, hey, if you just chill out,
yeah,
I'll bring the person that I want you to be with around you, but you have to be paying attention, like not so preoccupied with what's out there,
Yeah.
And so, again, I think that balance is like, I knew I wanted to be intentionally single after that space. All right, God, like, I was single for almost a year after my relationship and tried dating somebody in the church, and it was actually like way too lustful. I was the one that was like, hey, no, like, we got chill. And she was like, no, every time I seen her, it was like, oh, I can't even let you around me, like around my house no more. Like, it was actually that we went to the movies and like she made a comment in the movie theater and I was just like, yeah, this is the last time we're hanging out. Like, we're good. And it just kind of like really turned me off. And then I had this situation again with the person who I said like, hey, I just really need to be friends. Like, if we can just be friends for a while and just hang out, like we can get back into this relationship once I heal from my loss of my dad. But again, that wasn't us. Okay, cool. All right, God, what I'm doing isn't working out. Clearly, I thought I was going to marry this one girl. That didn't work out. So strike 1, 2, and 3. All right, I'm taking my hands off.
Mm-hmm.
So God, I'm going to chill. I'm going to do everything you've called me to do. And I'm just going to wait on you. I'm going to be in my word. I'm going to pray, but I'm going to live how you've called me to live. And boom, here we go. 4 months in, it didn't take the full 6 months.
Right.
But even when I look back now, again, hindsight's 2020, like that football game that we went to was after the 6 months. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, wait a second, we really didn't go out and do anything together until that 6 months was done. And that first time was with one of her friends. So we were in a group. And our first one-on-one like date where we said, hey, we're going on a date wasn't until after Christmas, And so it was like, wait a second, that 6 months still worked out. Like,
Right.
I still did that 6 months. And that's great to look back and say, like, wait a second, I really gave God just like that time. And he moved in less time. And I still gave him the 6 months by saying, like, hey, I'm not even trying to date this person. Like, I just want to be friends with her and get to know her. And this is what it's turned into. So I think like truly taking my hands off and submitting that to God is what made it prosper into what it was. And God was able to like kind of mold it into what he wants it to be, and much less of what I want it to be or what she wants it to be, you know? So I think that would be, it's all up to the individual how to gauge that space.
Yeah.
But I think it's worth gauging the space.
Mhm.
Definitely finding the space.
Once you're like intentionally dating someone, how long do you try to make that phase last before you turn into whatever is next for you? Because I know different people also have different concepts of like,
Oh, we're dating a lot of people too.
Oh yeah, no.
My overnight, we're midnight, and we're boyfriend, girlfriend, now what is that? And I said that,
I think so for me, like we are intentionally dating, like me and the young lady I'm with now. And we've moved from like the friendship stage to, hey, we've had this conversation. We're going to be intentional about how we're spending more time. Again, she has kids. So it's like now just not spending time with her. How are we going to try to spend time together and incorporate, the kids in it as well? What was the second half of the question?
It was just me saying that different people have different aspects of like what.
Oh, like dating and not dating other people. So for me personally, I've never been that person. I've always gone into it, even if I'm just like asking that person out just a coffee or whatever, and like we might feel in that moment like, hey, I might want to see you again. Just like, hey, I'm not doing this with a bunch of people. Like I'm only coming to coffee to see you. I'm not going to another coffee after this, or I'm not, having another date this afternoon. Like
Right.
that's never been who I am. And so I let that be known from the jump. And I think that's a big thing about just like dating in general is you got to put everything out there. Like not everything, but you got to put your intentions out there in the start of it. So to be like, hey, like if this is a thing, you asked me out or I asked you out, like, hey, I see something here, but like I'm only doing this with you. I'm not trying to date more than one person. If this doesn't work out, I don't have a rebound. Like I don't have a roster to go through. Like it's just this is what it is. I think the timeline again is up to the person and the situation that you guys are in. But I mean, for me personally, we've been intentionally dating for now 3 weeks, almost a month. And I'm already kind of in that mind space of like, hey, when am I gonna like ask her to be my girlfriend? Like, how do I want to do that? Do I want to take her to a dinner? So like, I don't think it takes long. At the end of the day, Pastor Steve, I'm gonna deflect to my pastor. My pastor said it best, like a man knows what he wants. It doesn't take a man like 4 or 5 years of dating to know that he's gonna marry you or not.
Yeah.
A man knows pretty fast if this is a person he wants to, put a ring on it with or not. And I especially just getting into that, hey, we're boyfriend and girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? The moment I say we're boyfriend and girlfriend, I'm telling you I see a future with you. And not just a future, but I'm telling you that I see a version of my life with you where I'm with you for the rest of it. So that's what I'm not even entering into the relationship stage if I don't see that. That's why I've only been in 3 relationships.
Right.
Because I date to marry. And I don't think enough people do that now. I think people just want to find their person or find a person and are just saying that like, hey, we're dating. What does dating mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you guys boyfriend and girlfriend? No, we just hang out. We just go out every once in a week. Oh, but there's no title. There's no intention. Like, and kind of just get in where you fit in. So making that commitment is a big part of it on the guy's part. But I think that's also part of like courting. Is like, hey, I'm not just like here to hang out with you anymore. Like I see something with you and I've gelled with you. I know who you are as a person. I know your heart. I know your heart for God. And I like that. And I want to move forward with that. So, hey, we're courting. You know what I'm saying? So I know you got a busy schedule with not just work, but 2 kids. And I got a busy schedule. But hey, what can we do to see each other once a week? You know what I'm saying? Whether it's with you or with you and the kids. What can we do once a week to see each other? Okay, cool. Oh, we live on 2 different sides of town. How can we meet in the middle to make it easier for each other? And I think that's the intentional part of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
All right, 2 wrapped on relationship. One is, do you think there's an aspect or something that, as far as like relationships, that the church could be like more clear about? Union itself, I was saying, does a pretty good job of that.
Yeah, no, Union does a great job of that. I think they could do I don't want to say it better, not Union specific.
Yeah,
No, this is not Union specific.
as a whole.
No,
Just
church as a whole. Union Church, I love you, Pastor Stephen, Pastor Zion. If y'all see this, I love y'all. I love y'all. And actually, Pastor Zion, I'm gonna deflect to you. I served women's night. So all the men came and served, and one of the things I overheard was Pastor Zion said, like, we understand, like, we're humans. You know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, we have sexual desires. You know what I'm saying? But like, God's called us higher.
Yeah.
So, and that means not being like everybody else. So we have to be set apart. We have to do some of the harder things to get the blessings and the benefits that are on the other side of those promises that God made us if we do what he's called us to do. And so I think that's the big, just letting people know that it's okay to mess up. And Union does a great job of that.
Yeah.
Union does a great job of saying, hey, like, it's okay to make mistakes. There's nothing wrong with mistakes are how you learn. It's kind of like what Paul said with a thorn in your side. Like, that's why God won't take that thorn out, so you can keep coming back to him and you can keep praying on it and he can keep fixing it for you, or slowly prune the branches that don't bear fruit. That's what God wants you to do. He wants you to keep coming to him about those things. And Union has done a great job of saying, hey, if you're going through this, join a group. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not the only person that is going through this. There's a bunch of people here that have gone through what you've gone through, that are younger than you, that are older than you. And so if you meet that older person that's already gotten through it, they can teach you how to get through it. And if you meet that younger person that's currently going through it, you can encourage them on how to get through it. And that's a huge benefit of Union and the groups that they have. And then there's Freedom Conference. And after going to December, I'll tell you what, everybody do got to go to Freedom Conference. So I was awake for like 3 days. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, after Freedom Conference, I couldn't go to sleep.
Oh, wow.
I was just sitting, like, it affected me so much. I was like truly in the presence of the Lord, truly cast things that I didn't know were burdening me and cast them down on the altar. And just coming out of that, it's like, hey, like, I truly am free and I can let those things go. And so they encourage everybody to join a group. They encourage everybody to go to Freedom Conference. I mean, everybody does need to be free, and it's free of something, and everybody deals with something, whatever that is. There's a whole slew of things that everybody deals with. But getting that Freedom Conference is different, and it doesn't just take one. There's people that I know that have gone to Freedom Conference 2-3 times. They serve it, they attend it. Like, it's a bunch of stuff. But I think you getting into a church, number one, helps you build that community around you, and that encouragement, because then, of course, if you mess up, whatever that is, like, it could be addiction, whatever that is, you know what I'm saying? If you mess up and you start feeling that shame is a trick from the enemy. It's not from God. God wants you to know that, hey, it's okay that you messed up. You can still come to me. Where the enemy is like, oh no, you messed up. God won't accept you. And Union does a great job of reminding people of that. We got the Favored by God hoodie on, and reminding you that, hey, you are still a son of God, or a daughter of God, despite your mess ups, despite your past. You are still an image bearer and made in the image of God. And Jeremiah 29:11, I actually have it tattooed on my arm. For the plans that I know that I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, give you hope in the future. And there's nothing you can do to discredit you from that. And Union does a great job of reminding you of that. And I wish more churches did that instead of condemn it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Good. Last question. What's the one piece of advice that you'd give someone in a similar season to you right now?
As much as I would say, number one, get you a community. Don't go through it by yourself. So get you a godly community. The right community is super, super important. The community I didn't meet them until I started going to church. And they are, you would have thought we were closest to the people that I went to high school with. You know what I'm saying? And we've only been with each other 2 years, but we done shared some traumas. We done been through some traumas. And so that community, super huge. We all sit next to each other in church every Sunday now. So if you guys see us, that's our whole row. That's us. But your community is super important. Your pastor is super important, like who you're accepting advice from. And then, I mean, it's your heart posture. I would say if you're, in that space, whether you're trying to intentionally date, trying to be intentionally single, or just hopeful for what God has for you, it's putting your heart posture in that space and saying, God, like, I just want what you have for me. You know what I want, and you know what I look for in a person. And I know you're going to put those things into that person, but help me find the right person. So I think it's super important to come to the end of you in that aspect and truly let God have his way. Because he's not gonna let you down. He's not gonna let you down. And I think that would be the case. Truly just give God that space and the opportunity to do what he said he would do for you if you allow him the opportunity and the space to do that for you. I think that's it. Just being open and available.
That was really good.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Anthony, thank you so much for being on today. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Of course. Thank you guys so much for spending time with us today. I really loved having you here. If you liked this episode, make sure you share it with someone you know. I'd also love if you guys would comment any questions you might have that we can answer on future episodes. Remember that each one of you was born for such a time as this. Until next time, bye!